Welcome to a special episode of the G5 Hive. And boy, do we have something exciting for you all today. We have a very special guest joining us. He was a standout athlete at Vandergrift High School in Austin. He earned multiple All-State and MVP honors as a wide receiver and kick returner. He totaled over 3,000 receiving yards and 40 touchdowns across 3 seasons with 74 carries for 1,014 yards and 14 touchdowns in 2023. Rated a 3-star prospect by several outlets. He also excelled in lacrosse and track, qualifying for the 6A state meet in long jump and helping his lacrosse team reach the state title game. As a true freshman, he played in 11 games, starting 2 and recording 36 receptions for 378 yards and 2 touchdowns. He debuted at Texas Tech with 75 yards on 3 catches and had a standout performance in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl with 6 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. His other highlights include a 62-yard game at Memphis and his first career touchdown against East Carolina. He was tabbed Brett Vito's Offensive Breakout Player of the Year for the Mean Green in 2025. He is 5'6", 159 pounds. He wears number 1 for the Mean Green. He is Miles Coleman. Welcome to the show, Miles.
Thank you for having me on.
We're glad to have you. Super excited to see what you and the Mean Green can do here in 2025 and what seems like a really wide open American Athletic Conference, and hopefully you guys can make it to that championship game and take the championship home.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for this year.
Well, let's kind of go back to kind of where it all started for you. Who introduced you to the game of football?
Oh, wow. My dad kind of introduced me really when I was really like 2 years old. I was always holding a football, trying to play with my dad, throw the football around. But yeah, my dad kind of introduced me. He was my coach in Pop Warner. So yeah, he introduced me to football, kind of taught me everything I know, just the ins and outs of the football game. So I'm just grateful he was in my life and just taught me pretty much everything about football.
We talked about, you being on the track team and lacrosse team, but did you play any other sports growing up?
Oh yeah, I kind of did it all. I played football, lacrosse, soccer, track, basketball. Basketball was pretty much my thing up until freshman year. I was about to leave football, but yeah, I just ended up sticking to football, and then I stopped playing basketball after my freshman year. But I stuck with track, stuck with lacrosse for a little bit. But yeah, track helped me a ton with football, running good times, jumping. And then lacrosse also helped me a lot, just with footwork and hand-eye coordination and everything.
If you had to pick another team there at North Texas other than football to play, which team would that be?
It would have to be track. I feel like I would do pretty good in the long jump and the 100.
Awesome. What was it like playing high school and football in the state of Texas? They always say, things are bigger in Texas, and high school football certainly seems to be the biggest state for it. And more of, you played 6A. Kind of what was that like?
Man, stadiums were packed. Student sections were loud. It was truly an awesome experience. But yeah, just playing at that 6A level, it's no joke. It's the best football in the nation, in my opinion. Best state. Texas is the best state of football. But yeah, I just 6A Texas football. It's different.
How did playing that high level of high school football kind of help prepare you when you made that jump up to North Texas? And maybe what things were kind of like similar or different?
Yeah, I think it helped me a ton. Just the level of time commitment and time management you need. That at 6A level, you got to study film and everything, because there's big time players all over the field. But yeah, it prepared me extremely well. College is completely different, but I think just preparing me for what college is, I think 6A was the best thing that could have happened for me.
What led you to choose North Texas to further your football career and education?
Yeah, they showed love from the start. I have a good connection with Coach Morris and Coach Davis, ROC. But really, they just it's a family. I mean, they would check in on my family, my mom, my dad, even my sisters, and that was a really big thing for me. And then they really showed love, and they showed that they wanted me. And like I think that's a big mistake a lot of athletes are doing, is they're just going for money and not to a school that like really wants you and knows how to use you.
Yeah, that's an important distinction. Knows how to use you, like, and understanding like what's already there at the school, right? Like,
Exactly.
and how how soon you're going to get playing time and all those kinds of things. That those are all kind of other important factors in those kind of decisions that sometimes folks don't think about.
Hmm.
What advice would you give an aspiring high school player about the recruiting process?
Yeah. Recruiting process, it's not easy. I would just say stay patient. Stay patient. Go to camps that you're invited to so you can showcase what you can do. Um, and then go to a school that really wants you and like knows how to use you, like I just said. And just, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you had a standout performance in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. What was that moment like for you as a true freshman?
It was really special. Just going out there on ESPN, playing with my best friend Drew. That was really my first time catching passes from him in an actual game, and just to be there and just to see like him ball out in front of everyone. I had a bunch of family friends there, so the experience was just amazing.
Well, you talk about Drew, and you both had a standout performance there in the bowl game, and it's clear that there's a strong connection between the two of you guys. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about your history together and what makes that connection work so well?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a connection since Pop Warner. He was my quarterback. I played running back at the time, but we still had a connection. And then we've been best friends since elementary school, so that helps a lot. Just being on the same page. And then even in middle school, when we weren't even on the same team, we would still find time to go throw with each other outside of school and everything. And then even today, this morning, I went to go throw with him this morning. So just the connection we have, I mean, it's really special, and I'm excited to go showcase that this year.
And Drew's got a pretty incredible story of his own, right?
No doubt. Yeah.
Going going from someone that didn't really even play quarterback much in high school,
Hmm.
comes as a walk on to North Texas, moves his way up the depth chart, and then you know starts the bowl game and plays amazing.
Yeah, he balled out.
I'm sure for you that probably wasn't much of a shock, right? You
No
probably had
doubt.
the confidence in him the whole time. I'm sure, right?
Yes, sir.
If you could pick two wide receivers to train with, learn from, watch film with, etc., who would you pick and why?
Yeah, I was thinking about this one. This one might be a surprise for some people, but one of them I picked Cooper Cup. He's probably one of the smartest receivers ever. So I think just watching film with him, learning from him, just finding ways to get open. Because I mean, he's not super fast, he's not super athletic, but he's always open. So I think that he's one of them. And then Tyreek Hill, he's kind of a guy I look up to, his speed and just his his speed and overall, just he's a dog, man. And I think he's a really special player. So to be able to learn from him, watch film with him, I think it would be special.
When you're watching film and you're looking at other wide receivers, what are the things that you're paying the most attention to?
Yeah, I paid attention a lot to releases, like versus press versus off man, whether he's playing inside, outside leverage. Those are the main things I pay attention to, and just what they do to like find ways to create separation is the biggest thing. Because I mean, if you can't separate as a receiver, you're not gonna do well at the next level. So those are the main things I pay attention to.
When you're watching the defensive backs, which things are you looking for from them?
Yeah, the defensive backs. Uh, some of them play really aggressive. Some of them like to scooch. But yeah, I just like impress. Like if they're gonna shoot their hands really fast, just being able to use my hands to my advantage, and use my quickness to my advantage. So yeah, just knowing like what they're good at and what I'm good at, and just using my advantages to beat them.
When you're watching the defensive backs, have you ever like found what like a tell that kind of like tips their hand to what they might do before the snap occurs? Have you ever noticed that or?
Yeah, the DBs, they like to get physical with me because they know they can't really run with me. But yeah, they'll like start to lean forward a little bit, get on their toes when they want to quick jam me. So those are some things I kind of look at.
What do you feel is your main strength as a wide receiver?
Uh, I don't want to be bland and say my speed, but obviously my speed. But I think something that's underrated that people don't really know about is my ability to attack the ball when it's in the air. I feel like even at my size, I mean, I can get up there a little bit, and I can attack the ball. I got really good hands. So yeah, I think that's what separates me from most more smaller receivers.
What's an area of your game that you're working most on this off season to get ready for the 2025 season?
Yeah, just being a more complete receiver, being able to play outside receiver, slot. Because there was some games last year where they would put me outside against press, and I wouldn't see press a lot. So just being able to beat press man, and just finding different releases. So I've been studying a lot of film, watching how guys are beating these dudes off the line.
What are your goals for 2025 and moving forward, both team and personal?
Yeah, team goals. I want to go undefeated and win the American Conference, which I think is very possible. And then personal, I want at least 1,000 yards and 10 plus touchdowns.
As I mentioned in the introduction, beat reporter Brett Vito from the Denton Record Chronicle told us you were his breakout player for 2025. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to shout out some of your teammates. Who are some guys that we need to know for the Mean Green going into the 2025 season?
Yeah, there's this one guy. He's another receiver. He's been balling out in spring. Kyle Cook. Uh, he's he's in the same class as me. He's kind of a jump ball guy. He's made some impressive one hand catches in spring. And he played a little bit last year, but I think he's made a huge jump this spring. So I'm excited for what he can do this year. And then a transfer, Trey Williams, a tight end. I mean, he's a special dude. I mean, he's built like a tight end, but he moves like a receiver. And he's quick, he's fast, he's really strong. I'm excited what he can do this year.
Yeah, Brett was really excited about Trey Williams too, the tight end transfer. I believe it's from Limestone.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
just kind of like you said, his versatility and how he can be best, utilized in multiple facets in the offense. He was excited by that as well. If someone has not seen you play, what one game would you recommend for them to watch?
That Texas State Bowl game for sure. I feel like I really showcased what I can really do. That was really my first I started the Temple game, but I feel like that was my real chance to showcase what I can do. And just going out there and having Drew at quarterback, I just felt a lot more comfortable because I mean we have a great connection, and just I think we really showed what we can do.
If you could replay one game in your career, whether it's high school or college, what game would that be and why would you replay it?
This was my senior year, first round. We played Lake Travis. We were supposed to win this game. We went out, played terrible, and we had a really good team. It was just it was an awful experience for me. But yeah, I would love to replay that game because I mean we were obviously the better team. Um, so yeah.
Is there any one opposing defensive player, whether it was high school or college, that you've gone against, or maybe even one of your own teammates that you go against on a quite a regular basis that was just kind of tough for you to go against, and you'd like to shout them out?
Yeah, there's DB on our team that I go against. We battle all the time. He's also one of my good friends, Quentin Hammonds. Yeah, I mean, he's had an awesome story too. He walked on he played receiver in high school. So yeah, just going against him. I mean, he's a great player. He started almost every game this year. So just going against him, just getting reps with him has been great.
Is there a particular routine you have on game days, or maybe a particular song or artist you like to listen to get ready?
Yeah. So for the pregame meals, I'll have some steak and mashed potatoes every game day, and then while we're eating, I'll always listen to like Drake or Future, and then uh, once we start warming up, I have to turn on I have to turn on Young Boy. That kind of gets me going, gets me gets me hyped. So
What when you're not playing football, what do you like to do? What hobbies do you have?
yeah, I like to be outside. I've kind of started to play golf. I'm not very good, but
Who
I'm
is,
trying to
right?
get better. I'm trying to get better. Uh, and then I like to go out on the lake, go on the boat, wake surf a little bit, and then I love jet skis. And then I love to play video games all the time, NCAA, and then basketball. I love playing pickup basketball, just with my buddies.
So you mentioned playing the NCAA football game, PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
I assume you're playing as North Texas.
Oh yeah, I play as North Texas.
What do you like most about the game?
Oh, I like to play Dynasty and kind of rebuild a team. Like I'll play with North Texas and kind of bring in some recruits and then help improve our team a little bit, get my overall up a little bit. So yeah, I like the Dynasty mode.
If you could change something about the game, what would you change?
Oh, I think high school road to glory would make the game a lot better. I think just working as a high school player, and then earning that scholarship, I think that road to glory would just make it 10 times better.
Do you think in last year's game did they do you right in your rating for the game?
Not at all. Not at all. I think they had me at 62 or 63 overall. So hopefully it's up to at least like an 80 this year. But they had my speed pretty good, so that was nice.
Yeah, I gotta imagine it's probably hard for them to especially with freshmen right before you've seen them on the college level. It's probably a little one of the more challenging things you have to do is do those ratings, I would assume.
No doubt.
What's your favorite offensive play call in the game?
Ooh, I like empty and then middle high low. It's a it's a little stop route outside and then slot fade by the slot. And I hit that slot fade almost every time. Put myself on there, just outrun the corner. It's money.
You talked about your pregame meals, but what's your favorite meal to eat just in general? Like if you could have anything to eat, what's your favorite?
Yeah, we kind of have a group that goes every Wednesday to a place called Wing Castle. I love wings. So yeah, I think Wing Castle has got to be up there. I get some spicy lemon pepper wings, all flats. But yeah, so those things. I mean, Wing Castle's amazing. Shout out them.
Yeah, Wing Castle, if you're listening, you need to get Miles an NIL deal, man. Like hook him up or come up with a Miles Coleman combo meal or something, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a big wing guy too. I'm a flats guy too. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter enough for me to want to pay extra for it. But
yeah.
if I could choose, yeah, I would
Go
definitely.
flats.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could sit down and have a conversation with any three people of your choosing, dead or alive, who would you choose and why?
First one, Kevin Hart, because I mean he's hilarious, and then I want to see if I'm taller than him. And then I put LeBron James and Tom Brady. Just LeBron. I mean, I think he's the greatest athlete ever. So I think just having a conversation with him would be awesome. Just learning from him, and he's 40, still playing at a high level. So I mean, that's just amazing. And then Tom Brady, he's the greatest football player ever. So I think learning from him, his knowledge of the game, I think it would just benefit me a ton.
If you had to tell an aspiring high school player what the hardest part of playing college football is, what would that be and why?
Ooh, there's a lot of hard things. First, I would have to say the physicality and the mental part of it. I mean, it's completely different. Everybody's smart. Everybody, I mean, those dudes are huge. Everyone's strong. And then the speed of the game, it's completely different than high school. Everyone's playing at a much faster pace and everything. And then those summer workouts, man, they'll kill you, especially in that Texas heat.
A couple of fun ones to kind of get you out of here on if you had to pick any letter in the alphabet to win a fight against the other letters, which letter are you picking and why?
Oh, I went with X. I went with X because I just feel like X is just like a dominant letter. Like X marks the spot. And just I don't know, it seems like it's an alpha letter compared to all the other letters. So I got to go with X.
All right. One last question. Coach Morris comes in and says, "No need for pads today, boys. Grab your running shoes. We're doing laps." What position group does your mind immediately go to that caused it?
I got two position groups. I got the DBs and the D line. No doubt. I mean, I just their personalities and everything. I think they would be the first ones to blame, honestly.
Yeah, DBs is like it's not even close. That's the most popular answer.
Yeah.
We got from last year, and then we even interviewed two DBs last year, and
Yeah.
even their answers were also the DB group. So
Yeah.
something about those DB groups, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Miles, I just want to thank you again for taking some time out of your day to spend with us, let us get to know you a little bit more. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, good luck in the 2025 season, and we can't wait to see you out there racking up the yards and touchdowns, and hopefully winning the AAC and maybe even being the Group of 5 college playoff, automatic berth.
No doubt. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening in podcast form, please rate and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.